Author Ryan Holiday wrote, "Uncertainty and fear are relieved by authority. Training is your authority." Now you face uncertainty and fear every single time you walk out your front door every morning. NeighborhoodScout.com utilizes information from multiple different agencies, one being the United States Department of Justice. Now they gave Galveston a score on their crime index scale. They scored them a 9 on their crime index scale, with 100 being the safest. So what that means is Galveston is only safer than 9% of the other cities in the United States. Annually, they have about 270 violent crimes a year, things like rapes, muggings, murders, things of that nature. I understand that number may seem small, but what if you're one of those 270? What if that's happened to you? What if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you bumped into that wrong person? Are you trained? Would you have authority in that situation? Now, training comes in many forms. Today we're going to go over one in particular, which is going to be Jiu-Jitsu. By the end of this speech, you will understand what Jiu-Jitsu is, how it differs from other martial arts, and more importantly, how Jiu-Jitsu can benefit you. Now, Jiu-Jitsu is a martial arts with an emphasis on grappling. So forcing your opponent or aggressor to submit. In order to achieve the submission, Jiu-Jitsu follows 3 basic steps: how to take down your opponent, control your opponent with the dominant position, and then submitting your opponent. Now, Jiu-Jitsu is traditionally trained in a gi, which is going to be here. You have a top, bottom, and you have your belt that wraps it together. You have no gi on the other side, which is going to be real tight clothes, nothing with pockets, zippers, things that catch your fingers, or anything that can cut you. Now, your belt is your rank. You start off fresh in Jiu-Jitsu as a white belt with 0 stripes. You gain 4 stripes in your belt, you can get promoted to blue. 4 more stripes, you can go purple. 4 more brown, and then 4 more eventually you can get to black. Now, what separates Jiu-Jitsu from other martial arts is the fact that Jiu-Jitsu doesn't rely heavily on strikes. A lot of popular martial arts that come to mind, things like karate, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, all these rely on kicks, punches, elbows, and things like that. So, you understand what Jiu-Jitsu is. You understand how it differs from other martial arts. Now we're going to go on and talk about the benefits. Physical conditioning. Jiu-Jitsu is both physically and mentally demanding. Normal class consists of a stretching period followed by a warm-up. After your warm-up, you go into your drilling session, which will be what your coach has planned for you today to learn, move sets. At the end of each drilling period, you have live rolling or sparring. In Jiu-Jitsu, you're paired with someone with your rank and your size, if that's available, and then you go. You try to force your opponent to submit. Now, EvolvedMMA.com actually ranks different sports and their calorie expenditure. So basically what that means is it ranks the sports you try or the sports you practice and do, it ranks the amount of calories you can burn during that sport. An average 150-pound person in Jiu-Jitsu burns approximately 680 calories an hour. Second, you learn self-defense. You learn how to defend yourself. Going back to that uncertainty and fear we talked about, you face every morning, giving you the authority in the situation. How? Because you've been there. You know what it feels like to have someone on top of you. You know what it feels like how to have someone on your back that's trying to choke you or trying to hurt you. You understand what you've been there. You've willingly put yourself there multiple times a week, and now you are trained what to do in that situation. You are trained, so you have the authority in that situation. No one can take that from you. Jiu-Jitsu isn't a tangible object. It's not something you carry in your pocket. It's not a knife or a gun. There's no metal detectors for learning the martial arts. Where you go, your Jiu-Jitsu goes. Patience and discipline. There's an old saying in Jiu-Jitsu. It's not who's good, it's who's left. Jiu-Jitsu isn't designed for the biggest, strongest person in the room. That's never what it was intended for. Jiu-Jitsu was designed for the smaller person. John Danaher, who actually is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu and operates his own academy in New York, says it best. To control and overcome greater size, strength, and aggression with lesser size and strength is the keynote of the sport. It's designed for the little guys. To become good at Jiu-Jitsu, it takes a number of things. The biggest thing it takes is showing up, just continuously going, being the one who's left. It takes patience because Jiu-Jitsu is a process. It's a long process. It's a journey. It takes discipline because you have to show up on those days that you don't want to show up. Good, bad, or tired, if you show up, you will become better at Jiu-Jitsu. Motivation is what gets you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. Jiu-Jitsu showed me that if you continue to show up every day and put your best foot forward at something, you can get better at it. And that bled into every aspect of my life. As a student, as a father, as a supervisor, if you show up every day, just willing to put the work in, you can get better. So now you understand what Jiu-Jitsu is, you understand how it differs from other martial arts, and more importantly, you understand how it can benefit you. So I challenge you. Go to your local Jiu-Jitsu academy. There's not one school that I've been to that will not let you try it for free. You have nothing to lose, and you have a whole lot to gain. Thank you for listening to me speak today.